Hello, Bruno. You're on the air.
Hi, Paddy. How are you today?
I'm fine today. You?
Good. I'd like to weigh in, first of all, on the discussion that's going on between Danny Dumaresque and Minister Marshall. We're seeing two different versions of reality, and I wonder if I might ask Danny Dumaresque to call in and to clarify, because I think what I heard him say was that because they're demanding more than the 25% capital costs up front because of the sketchy finances of Muskrat Falls, that additional money is going to have to be raised in the junk bond market. And I'd like some further clarification about that, rather than just poo-pooing him.
I didn't poo-poo him.
He seems to be very informed and has been more honest than either Nalcor or your government about these issues.
Well, for starters, I didn't poo-poo him. I actually gave him points on we do not know equity stake required, and that's the question that I have for the minister. So that's what I said. And so next.
Well, that's good. So we both have the same question.
Lucky.
So let's hope that Mr. Dumaresque can clarify that for us, and Mr. Marshall can explain himself on how he's going to sell this project that, as I've repeated to you and have taken quite a bit of a hammering over the last couple of years. Let's go through a brief list. I pointed out that there's no New England markets for the energy, and of course that was poo-pooed.
Wrong. Next.
I pointed out that the price was going to collapse and has been collapsing because of shale gas.
Price
and
of
what's
what?
going on in New England.
The price at the clearing market, you mean? The price at the spec market, the clearing market?
It's down to less than 4 cents. Can you hear me clearly today?
Well, not really. It's actually kind of breaking up a little bit, Bruno. I don't know why. Less than 4 cents, very similar to where it was. I think it's about 1/4% less than it was 18 months ago. Next.
And I pointed out, to much derision, that the North Spur is unstable and that something is going to have to be done about it long before either Cabot Martin or anyone else talked about that. And as we all know, and as Mr. Dumaresque pointed out, they're hiring an engineer to help them solve that problem. There's only one solution, and that's to go down the 800 feet to the water tape, to the solid bedrock, and build another dam. That's going to double or more the price of this project.
Well, you and I, neither one of us know, because neither one of us are geotechnical experts, so we'll just go with speculation on that one. What else?
Well, we know that it's unstable.
Yep.
We know that they've been pumping water out of it to keep it stable since the 1980s. We know that it's underlain with quick clay, and we know what happens when that gets exposed, particularly to water, that the whole thing liquefies. Muskrat Falls, as I pointed out to you in the past, and you've taken quite a hammering for again, there's no business case for it since you have no markets.
I could have sworn when the federal government gave a loan guarantee and it virtually guarantees an immediate sellout on the bond market of the proposal, I think that guarantees a business model.
It doesn't.
It's up to the buyers. Up to the buyers.
Model, and, don't confuse
the buyers in the bond market will decide. But Bruno, the buyers in the bond market decide what has a business model and what doesn't. And a guarantee by the federal government of Canada is a absolute guarantee that the bonds sell. I mean, it's simple as that, really.
Well,
you ever buy a bond, or you just stand back and watch the rest of us buy bonds?
Of a project that's going to be the most expensive power in North America, as I've repeatedly pointed out to you, with no markets for the energy. We're going to have to let history decide that one. But my point is that with the no business case, that Muskrat Falls amounts to nothing more than a new tax, a hidden tax on the residents of Newfoundland and Labrador, $15 billion by the time that second dam is built, plus the 9% Nalcor cost-plus basis.
Part of what they get for that tax is power.
We've seen in this thing, cated further and further in bribery scandals.
Right. We're all on the same page on that one.
You've got the PCC, their code for paying bribes to people. We've got, your government has passed legislation that ensures no auditor general will ever be able to look at this project. No public utilities board, no competition, which is a FERC a violation guaranteeing that you'll never be able to sell power into the U.S.?
Maybe.
On and on it goes.
PCC is actually like the undercoating of the auto industry.
So let's hope.
Yeah, but now we're going down the same old broken record road. I thought there was some comment on the financing, which I think is interesting because the equity piece is all important given we're always strapped for cash and have very little in the coffer. So I think that's important. But down the S&C road, we're all on the same page. We've all said the exact same thing on that. It's important to have a look, and we should find out.
Well, maybe Marjorie's much more interesting than I am, but these are questions that are more fundamental
Bruno,
to the history.
My God, for a tough guy, you're some sook for a tough guy.
Continue.
Listen.
You're building a plant that has no market for the energy.
So tired.
Huge engineering problems in the North Spur. And it will result in the highest power rates in Canada.
Flip over the record, give us the B-side, man. Come on. And then imagine the Marjorie thing. My God, for such a tough guy, a veteran of all these important rackets you've undertaken over the years, we're some sook, man. I can't even remember the last time I talked to Marjorie. I talked to you more than her, put it that way. So what does that say?
Worst of all, Paddy, your political opposition in Newfoundland is completely impotent. That they're not standing up and demanding to see these contracts. But of course, we live in feudal Newfoundland, where
listen, can you slip an oligarch here?
In the Kafkaesque world, where your people that stand up and speak for the public interest are shown the door, and according to you, they have to go and ask permission from the government's Kafkaesque commission before they can point out that they've destabilized it.
According to me,
now other lawyers coming out and saying that the cuts are going to result in a diminished ability of the justice system to be able to function, and you think that nobody should stand up and speak unless they ask permission from the government.
What kind
of a democracy do you have, Paddy?
Well, let me just a couple of points now. While I'm talking, you just be a good boy and sit there quietly. So a couple of points here. I have asked you to go ask permission. I could have sworn I was the guy who pressed the button and told you that you're on the air. So I think you're wrong, exaggerating as is your standard MO. And some of the other points, we're actually in agreement on some of them. But some of your Kafkaesque material, man. You just got to speak to the points as opposed to going to your standard rhetoric, because I don't think it gets you out of us anywhere.
I am speaking to the point.
All right, well, I'm glad you got it through today. I'm going to take off here now because I find it tiring.
I guess, Paddy, when you talk out of both sides of your mouth, you can always say that you said the right thing. But when you talk out of both sides of your mouth, you lose any credibility. And running me down and saying that I'm
not running you.
Same old rhetoric.
Bruno,
when in fact I've been hammering away on these things that have been proven true one after another as this thing unfolds. You better take a long look in the mirror, buddy. Take a long look at that tutu you're wearing.
See, there you go. So I run you down as opposed to I let you say your piece. So now I've. What am I, a tutu-wearing Marjorie fan who is a Kafkaesque feudal dingbat? Like,
you're a prima donna.
How about this?
That's my point. You're a prima donna.
I'm prima. So I'm tired of this now, Bruno. I'm taking off.
All right,
Goodbye.
Prima donna.